Hello and welcome back to Menu Heroes Digest. Last you saw us was on Thursday when we released our Nintendo Direct response, I guess. Our direct response to the Direct. And we've got a couple stories for you today, but do you hear that? I think I hear someone coming.
It is I, Jordan the co-host, here to bring you the bad news, Mark Zuckerberg. See, over the weekend, a sell-off set of social media giant stock plummeted around 5% on Monday, adding a drop of about 15% since mid-September. The stock slide on Monday sent Zuckerberg's worth down to $120.9 billion, dropping him below Bill Gates to number 5. So numbers don't lie, Mark Zuckerberg, and they supposed to asking for you as sacrifice. So let me break it down for you, Steven. Would you rather go home with me, a generic, for you ladies and gentlemen, would you rather go home with me, a generic freak, or would you rather go home with that, pencil neck twink, Mark Zuckerberg?
I don't know. I might go with Mark. He might have he might have lost a lot of money, but he still has more than you do. No, sorry, that's mean. I felt mean saying that, but he has more money than you or I. And he has that sweet Baby's Ray barbecue sauce.
He might have to sell for Kroger brand barbecue. No, he's rich enough to buy. He's rich enough to buy Sweet Baby Ray's if he wants to. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
for those of you unaware, I was going with a Scott Steiner impression there, Big Papa Punk. If anybody remembers, yeah, there's a meme up there. The the math equation of Scott Steiner. You can find it online. It's good. It's one of my favorite wrestling promos.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started with our first story, which is about Google. Funny enough, we started with Facebook. Now we're on to one of the other big tech companies.
Yeah. And about another disaster.
Yes. So, my God. I just saw what they called, the users of this service. Alright, so, for those of you who don't know what it is, Stadia is a service provided by Google that is a video game streaming service. It's supposed to be a platform to rival, other game platforms, I guess.
Yeah.
Apparently, the users are called Stadians.
I think that's the name they want to keep coining, but nobody calls themselves Stadians.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Not really.
So, they are, instead of focusing on video games, they're looking to make deals with companies like Peloton to create playable experiences and online demos. This news, it comes from a Business Insider report, and basically, Stadia has been, for lack of a better term, demoted within Google. Meaning Google, it's not as high a priority to Google as it once was. Disappointing sales and poor performance is to blame for this. And so, focus is instead to try and get lucrative deals with other companies. So, I'll let you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I was trying to remember. Like, did we ever cover Google Stadia on our show? And it's like, no, not really.
No, I don't think we did.
I think it's because I think I always thought it was already done, because it was not even just last year, but it was a little actually it was about last year, to which they had lost several key executives and creators or teams for Google Stadia, and many people within Google had no idea like this is still something they were doing. I said like this article we're looking at has links to other articles, and yeah, man, so many. So many people who were supposed to be the pioneers, supposed to be like the main executives and like head of product for this, have all left, or a vast majority of them have left. You know, like John Justice, Jade Reynolds, like people who have been involved in the gaming industry that Google hired them to be, forefronting Stadia and get that, try and spark interest in that. They're all gone. And they've been gone for a while, and they may have announced people to replace them, but I haven't heard anything about that. And it's a lot. Okay, and they're also like, it was like 1 year ago. They had like it's like Google, Bungie, and id Software, where we're in like a middle of like a class action lawsuit. All these companies said, like, our games will run on 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, and no, they don't. So, more of like a liability case and everything. I don't think that case will really hurt those companies, but it is sort of like, it's not a good look where you're promising your customers all this high performance and this high quality stuff, and you don't really deliver on it.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you, yeah. I'm still here.
I thought I muted the mic. Sorry. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
it just seems like Stadia was being built up to be something, game-changing, and then nothing really happened.
I mean, but like, Google has never hyped up a project and then abandoned it like a year or two later.
Oh my god.
Wink, wink.
In case you don't know, he's talking about many of the, services that they started.
I almost want to use Google to like look up all the failed Google projects. That'd be a little slice of irony. So yeah. If I could did like this weird like bossing state thing, there's never been a Google project that has failed.
Oh my god.
Alright,
Google Glasses.
Oh man, I'm just not remembering that one.
I feel like AR has a lot of untapped potential.
Do you remember Nexus?
I do not. It sounds familiar.
It was it was Google's smartphone brand of smartphones.
Oh yeah.
They were. It was like a brand of
brand of Androids.
That one didn't get off the ground. Yeah. Project Aura, ARA.
Aura.
Talk about short-lived. That one only lasted like 2 years. It was like again, it's another smartphone thing. Google Reader, I think, lasted longer than most, but like, yeah, there's already so many other ways you can read online books or read digital books without using Google Reader. So,
yeah.
The Chromecast audio.
Oh my god.
That one lasted.
I have a Chromecast.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I don't use the Chromecast, but I have one.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's no longer available.
I used to use it, but I have a smart TV now.
Yeah. Project Tango. Remember Project Tango?
Oh my god. All right, so let's forget about remembering. And let's talk about oh my god. The racist Xbox commenters.
Well, more accurately, the man who was like trolling racist commenters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in case you missed it, this month is Black History Month. It's February. And, you know...
Yep.
Before people get up in arms and they're like, where's White History Month? The purpose of Black History Month isn't to say black people are more important than white people or anything like that. It's to shine a light on the achievements of the black community. Because, you know, in school you're mostly taught about the achievements of white people. Which it's crazy.
Mostly talk about like European culture. Talk about like the history of like England, France, Italy, Germany. Like you're taught those history, but in terms of the history of like African countries, you barely hear anything of them.
Yeah. And we always gloss over, you know, topics such as how, you know, our country's built on the backbone of slavery. And, you know, it's crazy to me because here in Virginia, we have Youngkin as our governor, and I don't like him at all.
Yeah.
He has a hotline open, an email tip line to report schools that are teaching CRT, critical race theory. Here's the thing, though. There is not a single primary school that is teaching that. That is a class that is an elective in college. And all it does is it teaches history through the lens of, okay, let's see how racism shaped this. It's like, let's see how the exploitation of minorities benefited us. It's acknowledging, you know, the evils of the past.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me that these hardline conservatives are like, we can't talk about that in school because it'll make the kids uncomfortable. When they're always, like, hurling out these insults like, you're a snowflake. They don't care about facts, they care about your feelings. And it's like, okay, buddy. You get butthurt if we don't stand for the
I'm
flag.
at least thankful I'm at least thankful the hotline exists just because people are trolling it like crazy. Because as you said, nope, there's no like public school teaching CRT, but like there's plenty of people online and plenty of people in Virginia like trolling that hotline.
Yeah.
Saying just again proving how completely useless that service is.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh man.
So there is a Black History Month flag, which I actually did not know about. So corporations will typically change their, you know, banner to show support for Black History Month, even if it's just, you know, pandering, as some people call it.
I know the term like virtue signaling is a thing that's been thrown around a lot.
Yeah, and I mean it is a real.
However,
problem,
I gotta say, well, I know a few years ago I would say like, well, at least they're showing support for these groups instead of being against them. But it really is like, I guess I become much more cynical and much more negative towards big corporations. That's like, yeah, this is all purely to like, you know, just to like.
Make a profit.
Try and like appeal to a certain demographic to get them to buy their product. That's all this stuff is.
Yeah.
Because they drop this like the day after these months or these like celebrations are. You know, it's like plenty of companies will have like a rainbow flag and as like their company like official Twitter thing for like the month of June, but will immediately change that the day afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, you know. Years ago, it would have been like, okay, great, you know, they're showing that they know the community exists. But now that they've done it for so long, it's like, we know the community exists, but, you know, if you're gonna act like you care, do something about it. Like,
exactly.
Corporations, especially, are in a position more than the, you know, everyday man to do something. And, you know, I use man, I mean, like, human. So anyway,
they have more than enough money to donate to these marginalized groups. They have enough money to donate to causes that help these marginalized groups, but they obviously don't because they just want to say they care, but really they don't because like I said, in America they'll change their Twitter accounts to have the rainbow flags on their official Twitter things. They won't do that at all over in Saudi Arabia or Russia, countries that are way more homophobic and transphobic than us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, on February 2nd, Xbox made a Black History Month Facebook post. Not unusual. But, they did some good things. They commemorated Black developers, creators, and players. They also linked to a blog post where they reaffirmed their commitment to being an inclusive space. Of course, with it being a place with an open comment section, there were people who were being racist. Even if they were just trolling, racist trolling is still racist. It's just like how racist jokes are still racist. It's in the name.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's somebody who, and his name is... I don't remember his name.
Ben Palmer.
Ben Palmer, thank you.
Yep.
He changed his name, or he created an account called Xbox. Used the same profile picture as the official account, but he doesn't have the verified checkmark, that little blue checkmark. He's been commenting in response to these people as if he was Xbox. One of the things he said was, "Please be patient as we work to ignore all of your racist comments." One person commented, "Next month will be for whites, right?" And then Ben replied with, "Yes, we'll talk about their role in slavery, colonialization, torture, the burning of cities, Jim Crow segregation, and police brutality." And it's like, this is fantastic. I gotta love how people fall for it. Even there's not the check mark, and corporations don't usually interact with their commenters like this.
Oh no, they never do.
No, I won't say never. There are some corporations who will, clap back at their consumers like this, but it's not often.
Well, I was gonna say, Ben Palmer, he is not only is he troll and racist online, but also he's a stand-up comedian. He's a TikToker. I actually followed him shortly after learning about the story, and guys got some good content. I'll say that right now. Guys do some good work, and certainly wouldn't mind seeing one of his stand-up specials in the future.
So, apparently, Sony. It looked like Sony had gotten in on it, but it was, alas, you were expecting Sony, but it was me, Ben Palmer. And this isn't the first time he's parodied corporations, When Ben & Jerry's announced their Pecan Resist ice cream, he impersonated them. He impersonated Walgreens when it promoted the COVID-19 vaccine. And when M&M's did its weird rebranding thing, which didn't really make sense, but okay, he parodied them. And so, one of my favorite comments on the Kotaku article is, out of curiosity, how would we know if this article wasn't also written by an impersonator?
I saw that comment too. I'm always worried to go by the comment section, but I was like, okay, that's a good comment.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you that one.
Here's a good tip for navigating comment sections if you get really anxious. Try to sort them by popular, and if you're on a news site like Fox, just don't read the comments.
Oh, I don't even watch Fox in general, no.
Okay, I don't watch Fox News because Fox News is not a news channel. It is explicitly, it is explicitly, but not loudly explicitly, a entertainment channel. It's not a news channel.
They
got
caught with like on their segment saying like, here's the list of cities that are the unhealthiest cities in the United States. But like you check online, the reporting is the exact opposite. Those cities they report on are actually the healthiest cities in the United States, because they're trying to keep this narrative that the COVID vaccines or people that areas that have high vaccine or high COVID restrictions are truly the worst parts of America or anything. It's like they've been, again, like they do not care about the news. They'll spend like in their very late nights. There used to be like one anchorer on the late night segment that like would really talk about the news, but that guy left long ago. Like, it's like the actual news of Fox News is gone. It's just a Tucker Carlson show
now.
Because I
want to bring something up because this is very important. While the national Fox News is a mockery of journalism, local Fox News stations are actually pretty reliable. They're usually unbiased. They just have the Fox name. I was gonna say Fox branding, so that's why I said Brox. They have the Fox name, but local news channels like ABC 13, Fox 13, stuff like that, those tend to be unbiased and, fairly reliable. The national Fox News and, national CNN, they tend to shoot for more sensationalist stuff, and I'll read CNN. I'm liberal. BBC is a really good source because it's not American, and so when it's talking about America, it's an outside view. But people will still say it's liberal.
Stephen, are you aware of like how transphobic BBC is?
I actually was not. That's.
Oh yeah, there's like several YouTubers, especially like was it the Jim Starlin YouTube channel has been talking about like they actively bring in like transphobic guest appearance. Like there was like a lesbian porn star that actively wanted trans folks to die or be executed. They've allowed that person to be on one of their news segments. So I mean, maybe there's people reporting some correct news on there, but it's like you go to that level, I lose all respect for you.
Yeah, to clarify, I don't watch news at all. I'll read it, but I don't watch it. It's I don't have that kind of time. I am a full-time student, part-time employee right now because of school. I was a part-time employee before because I realized 30 hours a week is part-time. But, I'm dealing with school, I got this channel, I don't have time to watch the news, so I'll read it. And usually,
This is so depressing.
That too. I used to keep up with the news a lot more, but, it just got hard to want to keep reading about it. Plus, I keep getting a ton of Spider-Man articles, and I'm like, okay, I'm done reading about Spider-Man. I don't want to know about Tom Holland. I don't want to know about Andrew Garfield. I don't want to read about Tobey Maguire. Stop giving me notifications for Spider-Man, Google.
The movie came out a couple months ago. They are not ready to plan. They have not had a whole plan of what the next few movies are going to be like. So, no, I'm not buying it. Maybe months later, maybe like the end of the year, they might announce some things. But like, no, they have not got anything. There's been no deal signed. There's been no planned out. They haven't got. There's been no scripts ready for anything. So nothing's been ready or signed. So no, I don't buy.
I won't say
they've confirmed Spider-Man 4. They've confirmed. Spider-Man 3. Like no, they haven't.
So they've
stopped lying.
They've confirmed that Tom Holland will be in at least one more Spider-Man. But yes, I agree. All these
going to be a whole trilogy of Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Then they backed out on that.
Back, yes.
So again, it's like I don't buy anything they're saying. Any Spider-Man related news, anything live action Spider-Man related, I'm not believing until I see Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal coming out and saying this is what we're going to do. This is our plan.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Anyway, moving on because tangent.
Yeah,
we're talking about
news.
Anything you want to add?
Just want to say. Just follow Ben Palmer on TikTok. he's really funny.
Yes, sponsored. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so this one I will let Jordan cover because he watches a lot of YouTubers. So I feel like he's more passionate about this than I am. Also, he has more experience with it. That said, the image used for this article is really funny.
It is.
I'll put it up on the screen for the viewers. I haven't been putting pictures up because I just didn't have time to download any. So go ahead and talk, and I'll do my thing.
Oh, sorry. I had to apologize for that one. Anyway, we've been talking a lot about copyright claims and how Japanese studios are getting more and more tight-gripped on their copyright, and just since Japan, there's really no there is no real copyright claims or laws. Like companies, like people who own the rights to certain things can just do whatever they want with them, and they have been we've seen Toei get extremely strict with who is using any kind of clips or images from their source material, from their IP. And also last week we talked about Nintendo's they've had a long history of taking people down just for using just sound clips or images of their stuff. So should be no surprise that once again another anime content creator on YouTube has been dealing with their fair share of legal battles, or just dealing with aggressive Japanese copyright owners for quite a while. This is a name it's been a long time since I've heard this one. Basically, not that, but basically what's been going on right now with YouTube, with what's been happening recently. If you are unaware, Mark Fitzpatrick, best known as Totally Not Mark, one of my favorite YouTubers out there, got hit with 150 copyright strikes by Toei Animation, and that would have sort of killed any other YouTube channel, and it almost killed his. Fortunately, there's people within YouTube that were sympathetic towards Mark, and they stepped in. They started enforcing policies that gives content creators a bit more wiggle room and help them face these legal removal requests from copyright owners. And now the new YouTube policy allows owners like Toei to have videos from content creators removed from YouTube only in places like Japan. Yeah, because Mark is I believe he's Irish, so he's obviously he speaks English, and he creates his videos that are about anime and manga, but they are intended for other English-speaking countries or for more Western countries. Well, companies like Toei and big Japanese corporations, that's just not good enough for them. And they may very well try to implement something that's known as a show pro gambit. And again, this other anime YouTuber, Swede, who I think used to be that kind of Swede with the channel Awesome Days, that takes me way back. So anyway, he's a New Zealand YouTuber who's been making Pokemon and anime parodies for well over 8 years now, and he's basically been okay. So he's been explaining this thing called Show Pro Gambit, which is a legal strategy going well beyond allowing Japanese companies to circumvent YouTube's copyright policies. Basically, the tactic, if implemented successfully, could force content creators into prolonging, financially taxing international copyright battle that could jeopardize YouTube channels of all sizes. So it doesn't even matter if you're Totally Not Mark or you're just a channel like ours that's only just got 30 subscribers. These Japanese companies are just dead set on we decide when we're going to use these images and nobody else. And nothing's been confirmed yet if they're going with these plans or not. But but basically, they're already targeting channels like Swede, and I've already targeted Totally Not Mark and everything. And basically, he let out a bunch of tweets to and try and inform other anime YouTubers about this potential this legal strategy that companies like Toei are trying to implement. The Show Pro Gambit, as he calls it in the video, naming it after the production company behind the Pokemon anime, is essentially a slap suit which is commonly used to intimidate a defendant for fighting back against a plaintiff. While the thing could go to court, the strategy assures that the defendant will consider it too much of a hassle to pursue. If other Japanese companies decide to use this legal action, they can circumvent YouTube's counterclaim system and fair use policy to bully content creators, both small and large. Excuse me. The fear is that by doing so, these companies could have beloved channels purged from the platform. Even if ostensibly some of these content creators not only love anime, they also provide free PR for their media. While it is a fairly common legal tactic, many YouTubers are independent creators who may not have the resources to fight back. So there's a sense of urgency. It seems big corporations start to adopt the tactic. As I said in Sway's video, from this point on, there are a million swords hanging over a million heads, all held up by a single hair each. They might never drop, but they might also all drop tomorrow. And he releases like at the last week of January is when he sent this tweet out and this information. I said he's been dealing with a lot of legal issues. Like several companies are going after his videos and everything. Even trying to lawyer up and try to like talk to companies, about Japanese lawyers and New Zealand lawyers to try and keep his channel stable and trying to stop this onslaught of his content and potentially other YouTubers, anime YouTubers out there. It's just all depressing and just very sombering because I had several ideas of how I wanted to begin YouTube. I said, being 30 years old, I certainly, have seen the ups and downs of YouTube and many content creators and the various trends that have been popular and are still popular on YouTube. And I always considered, maybe I'll try this or maybe I'll try that and everything. And anime was certainly one of those. If you remember, Steven, I think I remember talking to you and your Aunt Kim about what if we do a channel that's about me being an anime expert and trying to educate you guys and all the stuff going on in anime and,
I remember that.
Yeah, it's a fun little idea. Never got around to doing it. Certainly other things happened in life to prevent me from really devoting to that, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise that I didn't fall suit that, because I probably would be now dealing with several anime companies trying to take my videos down, and all the hard work that we would have put into those videos would have gone to the wayside. And my heart goes out to all these kind of creators who, again, by all sense, are doing all the stuff that is legal in their home country, is trying to pay homage, and they love and respect these anime companies. And many of them, like Team 4-Star, would always, at the beginning of their videos, saying, the following is a fan-made parody, please support the original releases, and that is not enough for these companies. They're like, no, you are using stuff from stuff that we own, and we're going to take you down. We see you as the enemy. And it's so draconian that it's just... Again, it's all about, yes, legally speaking, they can do, again, in their own countries, they can do this, but it's all about perception. How you look and how you're perceived by your fans worldwide. Yes, Japan is a company that, unfortunately, Japanese citizens are kind of used to this kind of thing. They're used to, just extreme measures to, try and, keep controls of the rights and everything, but it's you're not just yes, you're a Japanese company, but you're not just making products for Japan anymore. You're making products for people all around the world. And a lot of them are seeing you as a bully. And you may not care about that right now, but again, it's again, reputation and how fans see you is that does drastically affect a company's bottom line. Seeing, okay, I'll take an example. CD Projekt, granted, this is before Cyberpunk, but they were once considered a beloved and respected and just such a fan favorite franchise. It's such a company of them making the Witcher games and them having their own online app thing or whatever. Again, they were heralded as a people loved and adored them. They were seen. This is one of the greatest video game companies of all time and everything. And they got a lot of love and respect and like devoted fans because of the products they were putting out. And when they rushed at a product like Cyberpunk and all that fiasco is, their reputation went down, way down, and while they're still doing well, they're still making money, but like again, that like respect and that devotion that the fan base gave to them, or like the fan base had for them, is hurt. I'm not saying it's gone, but it has been severely hurt because that they decided to follow the money, decided like go for like just try to rush out a product and did not put the thought of like, oh, this is what the fans are going to think of us when they release this thing out. And also I could bring in a bunch of other companies that have chosen to follow the money besides like trying to make quality products that their fans defended or used to defend anyway. But anyway, your thoughts on any of this?
I don't know. Law is a complicated subject, especially when it comes to interacting with international law. I think it's crappy what the companies are doing, especially because, they're not losing money from people talking about their stuff. I think it's dumb. I think it sucks that he has 3 options and they all result in him losing at the end. He could either ignore it, his channel gets, taken down. He fights it in court and possibly goes bankrupt in the process, or he pays the fine and sets a dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not fair, especially for small content creators. Now,
No, it's not.
He has 20,000 subs, so, compared to us, he's pretty big. We have 33. But, he's still fairly small when you consider that there's YouTubers with millions of subscribers.
Yeah. Again, this guy's been doing this kind of stuff for 8 years. His numbers aren't big, but he has a devout fan base.
Yeah.
And again, with all the stuff going on with Tony Not Mark, that's a guy who also was not a big, did not have huge YouTube numbers and everything. But again, he had, like we said, a devout fan base, and a lot of them were swearing like, I'll never watch anything from Toei ever again. How they treated this wonderful man, this man who made great videos. How dare they? So, oh yeah, Totally Mark. I was like, Totally Not Mark. He has 700,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, after all this, he had a huge Patreon upgrade, or a lot more people went to his Patreon after this whole during this whole fiasco going on with Toei, because they loved he does such well thought out just tributes to manga and anime, and yet it's seeing Toei treat him so badly when they originally were after a while a few months ago they actually offered to have him be a spokesman for some kind of anime event they were doing in America or whatever, or somewhere, I believe in Ireland, I think. And for them to treat him this badly, to just target him, to try and destroy his channel,
that's not cool.
No, it's that that's the thing I'm trying to always figure out. What is the end goal for these big companies? As we said, they're not. It's not like people are these content creators are not encouraging they're not pirating their stuff. They're not encouraging people to pirate things. So they're not losing any money. They're just talking about the stuff that they bought, and they have, they paid with their money. They're talking about, they're making videos about the things they bought and they love. They're talking about other people's thing. Hey, go out and buy this thing, or hey, okay, maybe the things that they don't love, they tell them don't buy it. Maybe that's which. The quality of Toei has gone down over the years, all right? Seeing One Piece nowadays and looking at One Piece 10, 20 years ago, it has gone down in quality, okay? So maybe that's a reason why they're so after these, just so like it'd be easier for them to get away with like having lower quality products and not having people saying this sucks or this is terrible, like this is such a shame from like what they were doing before, this is hurting the legacy of what they created, like that's the only thing I could think of. Like they are so afraid of people making negative reviews of their products, they're willing to shut down the channels just so nobody can talk bad about their product. That's the only thing I can think of. And again, like that only makes you look worse. That you're so afraid of any negativity or anybody talking negative about your thing that you're willing to destroy a person's livelihood for that. Yeah. I'm just very disgusted about this whole thing. And not entirely. Well, it's not initially game related, but again, it's another thing.
All right, welcome guys to a very special episode
of. It's always something I'm feared that other companies might adopt this idea, because if Toei or other big Japanese companies can get away with this, I am certain plenty of like American companies will try this idea too.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so before Jordan has like an aneurysm, let's move on to Rockstar. This story is short, unlike the last one. So basically, Rockstar has, officially announced that they're working on the next Grand Theft Auto game. We've suspected this for years now.
The other news, the sky's blue.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. GTA 5's coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X, but that's to be expected. So They
also said that maybe, possibly, sort of, they might consider the idea of a Bully 2.
Huh.
Which I know that game has fans, but it's like they haven't. That one they have not fully confirmed yet. But it's always like, we might get around that.
Who knows? But yeah, and there's thoughts that we could see it at as early as 2023. There's some precedent for this because Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced about a year before its original launch date. Then it was delayed, so it was 2 years later when we saw it released. The same thing happened for GTA 5. The difference is that we saw trailers and stuff for those games. We haven't seen anything for GTA 6 or what will become GTA 6. So, we're not really sure when we're going to see it. If we're ever going to see it. We might
honestly, dude,
we might meet the
I'm thinking
heat.
2024. That's what I'm thinking, that
we might reach the heat death of the universe before we see GTA 4 or GTA 6.
Yeah. All I gotta say is I hadn't forgotten about the definitive edition Rockstar.
Definitively bad.
Yeah. So like if the game comes out, got a lot of positive reviews, and people are saying, like, no, this is great. Like, this thing's polished. They took their time on this thing. It's run smoothly. I might consider it. All right, but
until then,
nah, man. Like, I'm still mad.
Yeah, I get that. This next story, we're not going to cover too in depth because I kind of want to make it its own video. I kind of want to talk about, the whole thing. Just make my own little video about it. Kind of like how Jordan was going to make, Jordan's Nostalgia Corner or whatever it was called. I don't remember what it was called because we announced it forever ago and then he never did anything with it.
It will come. If you believe hard enough, it will come, okay?
Yes. Just like our next story, if you believe hard enough, maybe you will see it one day. So, the Intellivision Amico. This was announced...
I think it was Amico.
I think it is Amico. This was announced as early as... When was it announced? 2018.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Tommy Tallarico? Tommy
Tallarico.
Yeah, Tommy Tallarico, a game developer who worked on, a lot of games. He bought a huge share of Intellivision when the original, owner died in 2017. In 2018, he announced, "Hey, I'm relaunching Intellivision, and we're making this thing called the Amico. And it's supposed to be some technologically advanced piece of hardware, but it mostly plays, classic games, like basically mobile games. It was slated for What?
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I saw the video for this. Like, again, I heard the announcement for this long ago, but I just now saw the video. This is like leapfrog stuff. This is leapfrog.
Exactly.
Okay?
VTech.
This is no advancement. This is no, like, we're bringing all the family together. Families are playing games once again. Like, no, you're not. This is some, like some scholastic, like, educational crap. Like, I know.
So,
you are not going to compete with Nintendo, okay? Don't even bother.
This was originally supposed to come out in 2020. Then they delayed it. COVID makes sense. It's supposed to come out in 2021. Yeah. They delayed it. It's supposed to come out in 2022. Delayed it. They don't have a full date now. It's February 2022. It's been 2 years since it was supposed to release, and there is no news on it except that Tommy Tallarico has stepped down as CEO, and there is a full possibility that we will never see the Amico because they had to file some reports with the SEC because they are facing financial challenges. Ever since 2018, they have not generated a profit. In fact, they have sustained losses since inception. That means since Tallarico revived the company,
say, Steven.
There are significant debts, including about $3.1 million in loans from its board members. It's weird because there are like 100,000 or something pre-orders for a machine that probably doesn't and will never exist, and this is an example of vaporware because even if it does eventually come to be, it will have been delayed so many times it will be considered categorically as vaporware. And that's a whole video for itself. And it's going to be about the Intellivision Amico and Tommy Tallarico's Amigos. Tallarico's Amico. Name of the video. Alright, subscribe, like, bye. Buy gold. Anyway.
It's a shame that, like, Earthworm Jim is tied to all this, because, like, it's a whole thing of, like, Earthworm Jim, like, obviously there's been a game about him in years, and, like, he's been bought by Intellivision, like, many years ago, and it'd be so nice if somebody else would just buy the rights to that character, but it's still stuck with this whole thing, and they show a small glimpse of Earthworm Jim in that little video, and it's like, oh, this is some mobile game crap. No. And again, I gotta say this, like, the video kept mentioning, like, it's family friendly, it promotes non-violence, and it's like all about it's like, does anybody play the original Earthworm Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's carrying around like a laser gun, and like some things are like dying because like cows keep falling on them and everything. Like it's and I think there's like some demons in the second game, I believe.
Uh-huh.
It's been a while since I played the second game, but like it's a fun cartoony game, but like violence. I wouldn't say like it's meant for like the real young kids or the families that don't want to promote violence. Like, the game gets pretty violent.
Well, a lot of people don't consider cartoon violence as real violence.
I know, man, but like that right there strongly limits what you can put on your system if you say we are promoting non-violence for this whole thing. And I can somewhat understand that value or that that mindset, but that
desire to have
doesn't always work well with games.
Yeah,
even
Nintendo isn't like that.
Yeah. Okay. For a long time, Nintendo was trying to be like only like well the most will do was like teen rated games. They wouldn't do M rated games for a long time, or for Mortal Kombat they would have like they remove like the blood sprites, or they have it be like water sprites, like it was sweat or whatever.
Yeah. Or they'd be
but
weird
after a
and
while
make
they
it
said,
green.
okay, never mind. Yeah. After a while they said like, no, okay, whatever, screw it. We're doing M rated games, whatever.
That's because Nintendo of America, their censorship policies were just really Puritan at the time. They've gotten a lot better. It's funny because
way better.
Resident Evil for a while had Nintendo had exclusive, launch.
That's right. Yeah.
Starting with a Resident
That is
Evil
so
4.
funny about that. No, I love that fact that there was a time where there would be no M-rated games on the Nintendo console, and then like we're making Resident Evil an exclusive Nintendo property for at least for like until like the end of the GameCube era, I think.
Like a limited limited exclusive. My God, limited exclusivity. Status. Yes, that's the word I can't say. Yeah. Would you believe me if I told you I had to take speech classes when I was in elementary school because I could not speak? I could not say words with R's, and I still struggle here and there. And I think my H's were bad too.
There's certain words I struggle to say, or I can't say too fast. When I go at a slow pace and say cookie,
Ow.
It sounds normal. But when I try to say cookie, it sounds like I just cough something out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I might buy cookies. Like, no, I gotta say it slowly because they understand what I'm saying.
Enunciate.
All
right. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Yes. I will work on the Intellivision Amico thing. I really want to do it, but I also have school and like real life to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I have a full-time job, and I'm taking care of like a grandparent and also my dad. So like, I apologize for taking a long time for other videos that I'm writing, but like, I get tired too. Okay,
that's fine. I was just messing with you. I was just giving you a time.
I understand. I'll tell you right now, though, that Mega Man cartoon video that script is probably gonna get finished before the Comeback Corner script because like it's easier to watch a show or a movie and write your thoughts on it than having to like experience a whole game on it because I'm trying to like relive the game I'm focusing on and remember all its good and bad moments, so like give my thoughts on it. So okay. I said that's my update on that of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, we'll get it sorted out.
Yeah.
We don't post a whole lot because we just don't have the resources right now. Internet here is really spotty, so. But the plan is to finish college in the summer. I'll have 2 classes I need to take, and then I'll be done. I'll graduate next spring, and then I will do nothing with the degree and continue being a glorified babysitter until I can't do that anymore.
You're living the American dream, Steven.
Well, I realized, while there's certain things I would like to change, I realistically can't do them right now. Like, I understand that I will not be able to afford a place on my own, and everyone I know is either, they already have roommates, or they're probably going to end up moving in with their significant other.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I love my grandma, but I can already tell you're not going to like her being around her. I can already tell.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't move in with your family. That did not...
Oh, is that how it's going to be,
That did not come out the way I wanted it to. But no, like...
I'm kidding, man.
I wouldn't put that on anyone's family, because, I understand how it is.
Yeah.
So, I stay down here for a little while. Besides, Xander's hitting that period where he's growing up. He's growing up, mini heroes.
Yeah,
and it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going through a lot of changes. He and Dad do clash because, you know, that's a dynamic that comes with being a teenager, or, you know, he's 12. He's on the cusp of teenagehood.
Well, you know, like a Robin had to eventually grow up to become Nightwing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Jason Todd. That one just died for years and then came back as a vigilante. But that's a whole other thing. Like, DC Comics is a whole other segment.
Mm-hmm.
But,
anyway.
Well, hey, Gotham. Hey, speaking of which, like, Gotham Knights is coming out this year. Like, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I did hear some things about Batman games coming out. All right, so if you guys liked our video, you can watch. There's a playlist with all the Menu Hero Digest videos, and then over there is a video that is recommended for you, viewer.
All right.
I don't know what it is. Ooh, we play Russian roulette with whatever that video is. And until next time, stay cool.
Sacrifice!
There we go.